book friends, this is Kat. Welcome back to my channel. Today is a video that I was tagged in from Chrissie's Purple Library, and I will link her down below, but she kindly tagged me in this Bible book tag. So let's get started. So with these questions, I did my best to answer one answer, but a lot of them were really hard, especially this first one. So I'm just going to do my best trying to give you a variety of my favorites, I guess. So number one says, what is your favorite book of the Bible? And this one, I didn't have one answer. This one was hard because I really lean towards books of the Bible that not only encourage, but they give advice on how to live, like holy living. Or they give guidance. And so I picked a few of these New Testament books, such as James. I do enjoy going through James, Titus, First Timothy, basically any wisdom to the church. Those are the books that I really like to read and reread. The ones that I mentioned, I typically look over more. So that is my answer for number one. Number two, what is your favorite Bible story? And again, a hard one, but I've decided to go with the woman who was healed from her bleeding. Like she had 12 years where she was just bleeding. And that story I really loved to read about because this woman was suffering for those 12 years in biblical times. When a woman would have her time of the month, she would have to basically withdraw herself from society until she had her ritual cleaning, because anything she touches is unclean. So reading about the woman who was suffering for 12 years of this, you could just imagine about how she was feeling, so withdrawn, especially from society. I'm sure she was trying different treatments too, because I'm sure she knew something was wrong. She would go to doctors, and that costs money. And so not only was she hurt physically, but financially and emotionally. And so when she goes and she sees Jesus, when she hears of him, she goes into the streets again. She's not supposed to be there, but she has faith that if she touches the hem of his cloak, then maybe she could get healed. And it's just a beautiful picture because Jesus actually stops in the crowd and he's like, someone touched me. And his disciples were like, well, yeah, there's a lot of people here. The woman comes forth and, she's scared, but she knows that she was healed instantly. And Jesus doesn't condemn her or anything. He basically is just like, your faith has made you well. And I just think that's a beautiful story, a beautiful picture, and how it reminds me every time I see it and read it, even though I might be rejected by society, or if I feel that I am suffering in an area where I see that there is no hope, but I can cling to the one who gives me hope. And and Jesus is there, and he doesn't condemn us. He wants to see us restored, to see us healed, and it's just a beautiful picture. Anyway, and basically describing my favorite book with that too, because that is my favorite Tessa F. Shar book, the retelling of this story. So that one was the long answer to number two. Okay, number three. Who is your favorite person in the Bible? So I don't particularly have a favorite person, but more so a favorite couple. And this is Priscilla and Aquila. They are found in the book of Acts, and I'm sure in another book as well, but I remember them from the book of Acts. Priscilla and Aquila are this couple who started a home church and they opened up, their home for others to gather together in community. And this, I find that they are a very strong couple to do that, especially since where they were living, it was the Christians were being persecuted, and it takes a strong couple to do that. So they were a source of inspiration for my husband and I to start a home. It's a HOPE group, which stands for Homes Open for Prayer and Encouragement, and this is through my church. So, I felt inspired to open my home up, and our motto is feel loved and to be loved. Anyone is welcome through our doors. We offer, that encouragement, fellowship, a good meal, and we meet once a month. So a lot of that is drawn from Priscilla and Aquila. And I just think that's lovely about a couple who are, firm in Christ, and it lets their lives show through their day-to-day life and the community around them. So that's my answer. Okay, number 4. What is your favorite Bible verse? Hard again, but I settled on 2 Timothy 1:7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. And that has a lot of weight to the verse, because I know I've struggled with fear to where it was an uncontrollable type of fear. And God really worked on this with me, especially during, that COVID year where it was just isolation. So isolation compounded that fear even more. So this verse does speak a lot to me, and I think it's a great reminder to know that we can cast our cares upon God, because he doesn't give us that spirit of fear. We have that sound mind. We just need to ask, and this peace comes over us. So, that's why I picked that one to share with you today. All right, number 5 says, what is your favorite translation, Bible to read or to own? I chose New King James Version. That's the Bible that I currently read from. I grew up with NIV, which I thought was fantastic. As a teenager, just reading through it was easier to understand. But since then, since I've gotten older, I found that I like the New King James Version. It's just slightly different. But when it comes to studying the Bible, I'm not afraid to look at the Amplified Version. But those are the ones that I'll lean towards. So NIV, New King James, Amplified, here or there. But I currently read from a New King James Bible. Okay, number 6 says, what is your favorite hymn, chorus, song, singer, or band? So there are a lot. So let me go ahead and run through some. For favorites, singer, band, I'm going to say Selah, Casting Crowns, Chris Tomlin, Danny Gokey, Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir, love them. Michael W. Smith. I like the whole album, Diamonds by Hawk Nelson. Favorite song, Goodness of God. That one's a special meaning to me, more personal reasons. My favorite hymns, Surely Goodness, Sanctuary, Give Thanks, El Shaddai. I really like hymns. Great is Thy Faithfulness. I grew up with hymns a lot. Okay, 7, what is your favorite Christian movie? I love all of the Kendrick brothers movies. They wrote Courageous, Fireproof, Facing the Giants, War Room, Overcomer. I think my top of those would be Courageous, Facing the Giants, and Fireproof. But I kid you not, I cry every single movie. I already know what's going to happen, but they all hit in different ways. And there was not one Kendrick Brother movie that I did not cry on. Possibly Flywheel. I think that was the first one they came out with, which I own all their movies. That one, I don't particularly remember if I did or didn't cry, but Like Courageous gets me every time. Facing the Giants, that gets me every time. But anyway, I do love that. Man, now that I'm thinking about it, I grew up with the Prince of Egypt and Joseph, King of Dreams, and those were really good. I really wish that they came out with more. Whoever did the movies came out with more, but those are yeah, favorites as well. So, okay, number 8. Who is your favorite speaker slash preacher? So I don't really listen to other speakers or preachers often. But when I do, I find that I do listen to Priscilla Shirer. She also plays in the movies from the Kendrick brother films, and so that's the one that I know, but I typically don't really listen to a lot of preachers or speakers, except for those who come and visit our church. So there's that answer. 9, who is your favorite Christian fiction and non-Christian fiction author and book? So my favorite Christian fiction author is Tessa F. Shar. Favorite book I mentioned earlier is Land of Silence. The non-Christian fiction, that one's a little hard. Currently, one of my favorite books is Love Where You Live by, I think it's Shauna something. I have the books, but they're in another room, so there's the picture right there. But I did like this book a lot. Excuse me. But I would say they're one of my, like, this is one of my favorite authors. I typically don't really read a lot of the same person, like nonfiction wise. So with that being said, for fiction readers, you can read everybody's backlist, right? Well, I find that I read so much nonfiction that I kind of jump around from different types of authors. So I don't have like a favorite one. I just have like a favorite book or a book that I really enjoy. So there is that one. But yeah, that's my answer. And number 10, who is a real person that inspires your faith? I will have to say that it depends, because there are a lot of different people in my life. It depends on the season that I'm going through. So like we're going through a season right now where we're really trusting God to be our provider. And I find that there are women in my church who are going through the same things as I'm going through, and that's like who inspires my faith in that category. There was a time where there was issues between my husband and I with our marriage, and there was another set of people who inspired my faith in that way, and how to pray for my husband, and and practical things like that, how to rely on God to handle these types of issues. And so it just varies for me, like who in the church is a good example of faith in this category. And I think that's really important, because it also doesn't show like this one person is the one who is the perfect example of what faith is. So I'm not idolizing this one person. It helps me realize that everybody has different struggles, but we can learn from different people. And it's important not to idolize a specific person. And where one person's strength is, another one might have weakness in, and vice versa. But that's why we're called to community, to help each other through these times, to encourage each other within the faith. And yeah, I believe like that's how we're called to live. So anyway, number 11 does say tag someone, or possibly tag someone. And I'm trying to think who may not have done it, but I'm not really sure. So if you would like to do this tag, or if you would like to put some of your answers down in the comments, I'd be curious. I hope that you guys understand a little bit more of my faith walk through these answers. I am thankful that Chrissy tagged me in this. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in a different video. Bye, guys.